Hello food crunchers, how are we all doing? Hope that you are all doing fine. Today I'm gonna talk to you about the top strikers from the Premier League. So the way that I want this to work is easy. I first want to show you a cheap option, then a budget option, and then a top player. Then first we will see how or who I chose, then why I chose them, and then how to use them. We first start with Gabriel Jesus. He's our cheap option because he goes for less than 10k. This is regular gold card. It's just that I created my little own edit. And then Richarlison will be our budget option, which is the best player that we can get for a price in between 0 and 100k. It doesn't mean that he is the best. It means that he's the best per value. And then the top player will be Rashford. That goes for like over 380k. The way that I want the top player to work is he's gonna be a player that is complete. It's not like he's perfect at one certain skill. Rather, he is a game changer. He can go and score a header on the 90th minute, or as well as he can go and score a goal from outside the box, or go and dribble past some defenders. Then, now each player we're gonna go through the why and then the how. First, why did I? First, we go with why did I choose Rashford rather than why did I choose Gabriel Jesus rather than Rashford? So it nails down to little things. Basically, I like personally paciest players with a lot of pace. The one problem is, well, Gabriel Jesus hasn't got that much pace, but for the price that you are paying, you want a player to be able to score a lot of goals. And Rashford doesn't do that. If you see Gabriel Jesus with 88 attack positioning and 84 finishing, there's still room of improvement there, but he has got one of the greatest that I have seen for a player of this price. Then I don't care about passing perfect because he's a striker, so he doesn't need to be passing the ball that much. And then the dribbling side of things, Gabriel Jesus literally wins on every single thing. It's even hard for me to believe that he has 86 dribbling with these stats. There's literally nothing to go over here. The thing is, the reason why I like my strikers to have a good dribbling is because if you're in front of a defender, which most of the times you will be in front of a defender, and you need to dribble past them. That's why some players for you are hard to use, because when you pass the ball to them, if they don't have good agility or balance, or even ball control or dribbling, you won't be able to grab the ball, dribble, and then shoot. Because not all the time you will be able to just shoot and then score the goal. That would be literally an optimal situation, and in that situation even a 70 rated player would be able to score. Then his heading accuracy, they both have the same stat, and at the end of the day you won't be scoring many headers with Gabriel Jesus because he is 175 centimeters. That's his height, and his jumping is not the greatest, but still with this card you won't be. I wouldn't suggest you making a lot of crosses. His stamina 84, yeah, that's cool. And then his strength, he lacks in strength, but what he lacks on strength, he has it on dribbling. One of the things that I didn't like about Gabriel Jesus, the way that I saw it is Rashford and Gabriel Jesus, they are both solid options. But just because of the dribbling and the specific shooting, I'll go with Gabriel Jesus for this budget. But the fact that he has 3 weak foot is a letdown. For skill moves is what you need. Even 3 sometimes is fine, but a 3 weak foot is not good at all. Whenever you are going to top tier level and you don't have a player that can finish with both feet, it's harder for you to score because it's easier for him to defend against you. Then how to use Gabriel Jesus. The way that I would do it is I will put Huck, but you can easily put Hunter and it will be okay. The reason why I don't put Hunter is because for me 90 in pace is good enough, and I like the extra boost on physical because even a +5 on strength can make a huge difference on the game. And then having 87 jumping, it will allow you to win at least 10% more headers. And this game is a game of statistics up to some point, and if you have the upper hand on having greater jumping than other players, it's more than likely that you will win some more headers. But yeah, you're gonna be facing Van Dijk, so more than likely, if you win, it's gonna be against a left or a right back. On his shooting, there is nothing to say here. Literally, he will break the net with his shot power. He will have amazing finishing, and I love positioning on strikers because it helps them see the open space. When Gabriel Jesus sees the open space, he will be able to dribble easily and then, of course, score with his finishing. Then, if there is Agüero, why did he choose Gabriel Jesus? Well, the truth is, one of the main factors was the price. I believe Gabriel Agüero is now going for like 70k, and Gabriel Richarlison is like 39k. As we are going to the budget side of things, I'd rather go for a player that is cheaper but has got a good pair of skills. Firstly, he has got better pace. On shooting, he doesn't even compare to Agüero, but he has still got good finishing and good attack positioning. The bad thing with players like Agüero that are really good at certain skills is they don't have much room of improvement. If I were to put on Agüero a Hunter, which is what everyone is putting because of his lack on pace, like sprint speed is really important in FIFA. His finishing, his attack positioning can only be improved by 7 and by 6, which means that if you have a +10, you'll be missing on 3 points. And at least the way I see it is, I like to be the most efficient possible with my players. I don't like them to be losing anything. If I'm paying that extra 40 mil, then what I want to improve is something that he has not got over 80 yet. Or if he has got 80 there, it needs to be a +5. That's why, shooting wise, I love Gabriel our friend Richarlison. We can boost this a lot. Then on the passing, again, it's not that important. It's good to have a player that is able to pass the ball and to have good vision, because it will allow you to not every time you're gonna have the ball within the smaller area. You sometimes are gonna have it outside the box, and you will need to pass the ball, but it won't be that often. And with 80 vision, 78 passing, or 83 and 81, you're gonna be all right. Then the dribbling side of things, Richarlison hasn't got the best dribbling attributes. They are okay. If you compare them to Agüero's, of course, he will look horrific. But with 80 reaction, 78 composure, and 75 balance, if you get a good chemistry style, you can boost his dribbling. But as I said, it's good to be able to dribble when you have a striker. But you can use the boost somewhere else. You can use it on shooting. You can use it to boost a little bit of his physical, to make him go that extra mile, or you can use it to boost his pace a bit. So if you like to boost his dribbling, or if you like players that can dribble more, you can just go with Agüero, honestly. I totally prefer Richarlison. Then heading, this is where the money is set as well for me. Because if you have a budget player, you also want him to be able to score headers. You don't only want a player that is perfect at dribbling or perfect at shooting. With 88 hand accuracy and a good jump in, which is 83, plus a good height, which is 181, you will be able to score. If you make a far post cross, he most than likely will be facing against a right back or a left back, which means that you will have the chance to score that. But if it's facing a Van Dijk, it will be less likely for you to score. Then, if you see his weak foot, a 5 weak foot for me is just unbelievable, man. Like, if you have a 5-star weak foot player, you know what it does to you. Like, you will go and it doesn't matter if you go right, if you go left, you will score. And then his skills are fine. Again, Agüero, as I said, he's a smurf in the past. He has only 4-star. He's 173. Being 173 is not good, man. It's not good. 173 or 175 is, as a striker, you don't want those stats. Except that it's like a Ben Yedder, which is OP and he scores from every single spot. But Agüero wise, I don't know. I wouldn't like it. Then okay, but how do I use Richarlison? Well, I personally put Hawk on him because I like him to go that extra mile on pace, 90. But if you want to boost his dribbling, you want him to have better balance, you can just go with a sniper. It will even give him better long shots and better dribbling. And his strength was already okay, and his his pace was already okay. But I personally, because I like that extra 90 and I like that extra physical, I go with Hawk. And I think most of you will go with Hawk. He will break the net again. He has amazing finishing, amazing positioning, and it's definitely an upgrade if you compare him to Gabriel Jesus. Now, I'm going with Rashford rather than Gabriel Jesus. And yes, okay, it's weird. Firstly, I went with Gabriel Jesus rather than Rashford, and now I'm going with Rashford rather than Gabriel Jesus. And let me explain. First, the pace. Because when you are going on those top tier levels, you want your player to be really pacey. And for Gabriel Jesus to get there, he will definitely need a chemistry cell. Again, you can leave him on 91 and that will be okay. But 96, if you have used Mbappe on the past, you know that a player being really quick helps a lot. Then on his shooting, again, I think he's not even better than Richarlison on the shooting side of things. But here it comes again with the same thing. You want him to be able to improve. You want to have a space for him to have an extra attack positioning or a finishing. Because if we put any shooting boosts on Gabriel Jesus, he will be missing on the attack position, and Rashford will get closer to that. Then passing, again, I don't think that it's that big of a deal, but having good curve and having good passing and vision whenever you are on the top tier levels is more important, because of course you're gonna need to pass the ball to your striker more often once you go to that elite or gold one, because they are good at defending, and most of the times you won't have your striker alone. You will need to make good runs, you will need to pass the ball everywhere and then get him to be on the spot. But for him to be on the spot, you will need to actually make some passes. So yes, having over 80 is literally a requirement of both vision and passing if you really want to score more goals. Then dribbling, again, Gabriel Jesus is a beast on his dribbling. I do not understand how he's only 91 with these stats. But Rashford with what he's got, I mean, it's okay. If again you want to go with more dribbling player, you can go with Gabriel Jesus. But the extra thing that makes me want to go with Rashford is his weak foot and his height. Being 10 centimeters taller than Gabriel Jesus, even with horrific jumping, makes me go with Rashford, because again, when you are on that top tier level, you have to think about this card as you're not buying them because you just want your team to look good. You're buying them for a reason. You're buying them because you want to go to elite. You're buying them because you want to improve your team. If you want to improve your team, you need certain things that other players are not giving you. Yes, Gabriel Jesus is amazing with dribbling and with shooting. He will score from everywhere. But imagine that you are in 90th minute and you need to score a goal with a header, and of course, maybe you have a Zlatan Ibrahimovic on there, and you can just send him across and he'll score. But again, if you still have Rashford and you don't have to sub him because he has a good height, he can score some headers. Again, that 70 jumping can be improved. He has got better strength, which I believe his strength is really important as well, because sometimes you're not going to be going against center backs, but you're going to be going against right backs or left backs, which means that they don't have, normally a left back or right back doesn't have more than 80 strength, and you'll be able to outrun them. And outstrung them. I don't know how to say that. Now, cool, but how do I use him? Well, you don't need to boost his space, so I go with Marksman. That makes him a deadly threat from within and outside the box. Now he will score literally from everywhere, but again, it's not like the greatest thing because you're paying 380 million or something like that for this player. So he needs to score from everywhere. It is a necessity, but what makes me go with him is his physical now. 80 jumping and 85 strength plus 5 stars weak foot skill moves and 4 stars weak foot, and this dribbling skill abilities. He will be able to get inside the box. He will be able to do any dribbling you want. Sometimes you will not get the dribble right, but because he has got 5-star skill moves, something will come out. And then 80 jumping with his height is okay. But again, thank you so much, guys, for coming here, for listening to what I have to say. Again, I would love if you guys left me like what you liked, what you didn't like. I'm not asking you to comment like weird things like, oh yeah, I love the video. No. I just want you to tell me, hey man, I think you should buy a better microphone, or hey man, I think you should go and do this more in depth, or hey man, I think you shouldn't be going this in depth. So those things will help me a lot to understand what you guys want, because I'm making this for you. So thank you so much anyways for watching, and see you later.